He's one of the best coaches I've had, hands down. You know, when you think about players, coaches, a lot of people think of the younger guy who's cool with everybody and, you're able to talk to and have those cool conversations, past football. Rich was that guy that no matter what was going on, he would always be there, to have those real conversations. And a lot of people hear the good things about Rich, but Rich is a motherfucker. He doesn't care. Like, he'll let you know if you're not up to that standard. He's going to let you know, and he'll make it public in front of everybody, in front of the team. You respect him at the same time. Everybody had that mutual respect for him, so he could be real honest and be an asshole when he needed to be, but everybody respected him because everybody knew he was coming from a genuine place. That dude, I love that dude to death.
He's hard on our guys, and he's going to tell them the truth and be honest. But he's just as good as anybody at building them back up as well.
The night before we played the Chargers in that last week of the season. And it was like win in, get in. And the night before, Rich called me into his office, and he did it with a couple guys, but he called me in, and he's showing these plays, and I'm stepping in, I'm throwing it, I'm getting blasted, and another one I step in and get hit, and another one I take off running, and I end up like going like this and tossing it, and then Josh makes a great run, and and then I'm scrambled for a first down, and and then he shows a bad play, but then he shows my reaction, and he's like, if you're this guy tomorrow, we're going to go to the playoffs, and we're going to do something that hasn't been done in 60 years, where an interim coach comes in and the team takes us to playoffs, but it's going to be because of you guys. I went to bed that night, and I said, there's no chance we lose that game.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I said, I'm going to do exactly what this man asked me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it because I love him,
Right.
And I'll do anything for this guy. And it was hard. It was a tough game. It was physical. It was tough. And we pulled it out. And I remember hugging him and saying, I told you I got your back.
Every eyeball and ear in that locker room, like ready to essentially die for that man. Like that dude rallies the fucking troops. He was a special teams coach. He's always been a special teams coach. So he coaches both offensive and defensive guys. When I was there, dude, like the respect that this man has is crazy. And I'm not joking. Derek Carr, he has the ear of the locker room. He has the pulse. He has the heartbeat, and he's our leader. We would love for him to still be our head coach for the future. And that's not like he's not feeding a company line.
Right.
He's not feeding a company line. Bisaccia was also the assistant head coach, like while Gruden was the head coach there. So he's like, as far as how the dudes were in the locker room when all that stuff went down, when Coach Bisaccia comes up and stands in the team meeting room, all the boys I know were like dialed in, like ready to go, because he's got the right stuff to say. Like he's huge on leadership. One of the best leaders I've been around when it comes to like being a leader over a group of players. Because you have some coaches, like you kind of just sit there and you hear them say their spiel and you're kind of like, I know this guy isn't like what he's sitting here preaching to be. Bisaccia is about that life. And I am a huge Bisaccia guy. Majority of other locker rooms, I could confidently say most of the locker rooms, if their head coach goes out the way Coach Gruden went out, a lot of the guys are probably like, let's start planning for New Year's.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's get through the rest of this year type of thing. And it's showing now, but I'm telling you, that dude has the most respect in the world. You'd fuck with him heavy.
Start out with a few words here, and then we'll get into the questions. First of all, I'd like to thank certainly our players for their constant and consistent work and relentless effort to improve every day. That's all we really asked of them. They succeeded in that. Also, I'd like to thank the coaching staff for never blinking and for always putting the man first and then coaching the players second. Also, I'd love to give a shout out to Raider Nation for their loud and never-ending support for our team. They heard you, and they heard you, and you need to understand that. To have fans in Allegiant Stadium for the first time this season was an incredible experience, and in the future, I think this team will take great pride in playing at home and making an advantage to them. To play the Chargers with a blackout crowd was energizing for our players in that game, and I think it showed, again, all the way to the end. I'd like to finish by also thanking Mark Davis, Mike Mayock, and the entire Raider organization for their on-time support throughout the entire season. It was much appreciated. No one ever wavered. I believe it's a privilege to coach and play for the Las Vegas Raiders and in the National Football League.